for Games, the place to find new strategy games, and today we're going to play Against the Storm. Now this is a game that's currently in early access, and it's a roguelike city builder. So the idea here is that you're going to be building a city, and then once you sort of fulfill the requirements and finish the city, you're going to be able to get some new upgrades and build a new city and a new city. And there's sort of like a, I guess, game-ish timer. It's not a real timer, but it's a timer like depending on how you move in the game. And once you sort of progress to the time, you're going to move to a sort of next, let's say, like time phase, which will introduce new biomes, give you new difficulty, and etc. And it's an amazing game. I want to say it's my favorite city builder, but Cliff Empire kind of like, I just love Cliff Empire so much. And also City Skylines is like yelling at me, how dare you remember me. So it's my third favorite city builder, and this is going to be a longer series. So strap in, get a seat. Let's get started. Now this game is on Epic. I've already built one city called Rain over here, and the coolest thing is that you can actually trade with your very own cities, which I think is fascinating. Now what we want to do is we first want to go to the smoldering city. I apologize for that. And here we can get some upgrades. So as you play the game, you're going to be gaining experience and also food stockpiles, and you can use them to get upgrades. So the first update I got was Obsidian Archives, which unlocks deeds, which we're going to talk about more later. And the second upgrade I'm going to get is Pioneer's Gate. This allows me to build some of the basic buildings like mine, rain collector, and paved road from the beginning. So no, otherwise you can't build this. This is, for example, important with mine because you won't, in the starting in my first city, you can't actually get coal. But now if we get this upgrade, we'll be able to do that. So I think that's pretty cool. So we got that upgrade, and then we're going to jump to deeds, and here you can track different things. For example, if you fulfill, let's say, this wheat farmer thing, if you win a game with 150 grain in storage, you are going to gain experience. So sometimes it can be a good idea to track these specific goals so that when you start a new game, so you know what you want to move towards. For example, you know, okay, I want to move towards having a lot of grain, or I want to move towards having no deaths, win a game with 0 villagers dying, and etc. But we're going to leave that alone for now. So let's pick where we're going to build our very first city. So you can click on these different hexes, and the hexes will slightly different biomes. For example, this is very different than playing on the Royal Woodlands. So we're going to start off on the normal woodlands. We're going to go over here, I think. And you want to, first thing you want to check is you want to look at the modifiers of like the weather. So you have a drizzle, then you have sort of like a sunny time, and then you have a storm. And this sort of marks a full year. And at the end of each year, the resolve of citizens will get lowered because they're unhappy because I had to survive these storms. And the big part of the game is keeping your villagers happy, because if your villagers are unhappy, the queen will become impatient. Why do you care about the queen? Well, in order to win a city, you need to fulfill the queen's demands, her orders, and once you do, you will win the game and you can build a new city. So that's this length here. It's like every time you fulfill a queen's order, you get a reputation. But if it takes you too long to fulfill the queen's orders, or if your population is unhappy, the queen will become impatient. And if you get 12 impatient points, it will lead to a failure in this city, in this biome. So you want to look at the length. Now, the longer the length, the more difficult the game is, because remember, each year your people will get progressively unhappier. Then another thing you want to look at is these modifiers. So it's like how much of what resources you have on this map. So for example, we have a lot of plant fiber on this map, but not much leather. Then you might have some additional effects. Here, harvesting speed is increased. And also we can read about the Royal Woodlands. The Queen's Forests were once part of the smoldering city, but the Blightstorm reclaimed this land. The Royal Woodlands are rich in roots, moss, broccoli, grass carrot, mushrooms, and flax with a decent amount of debris and clay. The ground is fertile and soft, and that makes it perfect for farming. So we're going to start on this hex, and we're going to name our settlement after one of my patrons. So this is going to be Zemkat's Zem. Now Zem is ground in Czech, so it's like Zemkat's ground. But I like that it's a Zemkat's Zem. So let's embark on this. And now this thing at the bottom here is, by the way, the timer to the next sort of phase of the world. I love this game. I definitely plan to have a lot of episodes of this game. So, Forest Mysteries. This is so important. At the start of each city, you will gain some random effects to your game, essentially to the city. And this will affect what you want to do in this city significantly. So first, we have increased berry production. So we definitely want to, and it's only active in the drizzle phase. So this is something that we want to utilize. We want to find building that allows us to get berries. Now the question is, can we get that building? But hopefully we can. Heavy drops, this will give us spark 2. We do have a rain collector that can give us spark 2. So that could be an interesting idea. And euphoric vapors. If we fulfill the needs for 2 complex food, this can be easy. For example, if you can get grain, it will make your people happier, which, like I said, is very important. Looming darkness. So every time there's a storm, the people will be even more unhappier. Downpour. Ooh. If you don't give your people clothing, they move slower. So we want to focus on clothing if we can. And rotting wood. Woodcutters cut faster, but have a plus 100% chance to destroy their yield. Rain causes trees to rot and fall apart. This is not great, but it's not terrible. Now here, you can see our beautiful people. So here we have beavers. These are humans, and they have these little baskets on them to keep them from getting wet. And finally, we have lizards over here. Very cute. Now, this is currently where we can build, and as you can see over here, this thing covered in sort of like fog are glades, and you can discover a new glade by cutting the woods towards them. So first thing you want to always build is a woodcutter scam. I'm going to build one over here, and once it's finished, we're going to mark the trees to cut to this and this glade so we can discover new stuff. This means that there is a major threat in the area. And what that means is that you will have to fulfill some, like bring some right resources, otherwise you'll get a negative effect. Now I'm going to turn on the game so they can start building my woodcutter scam, and I'm also going to build some shelters. I'm going to have a kind of like a row of shelters over here. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to build a path. The regular path doesn't cost anything, but it increases the speed of movement, so that's why it's a good idea to build it. Now here on the bottom we can pick a new building which will allow us to build some new stuff. But you don't want to do it immediately. You want to wait for the queen's orders, because the queen will tell you what she wants, and if you don't have the right building for it, you can't fulfill the order, so don't build that just yet. Instead, what you want to build early on after the woodcutter scam and the shelters is you want to build a crude station, which will allow you to get planks, because planks are super important. Now, then you want to assign workers to these camps. Now you have 3 different races: humans, beavers, and lizards, and they all want different things. For example, let me pause this for a moment. Beavers are hardworking, peaceful, and honest people. Beavers are gifted woodworkers, enjoy working with rainpunk technology, so they're very good at working with wood. That's why you can see this rotation thing when you put a beaver in this place, because they are proficient in working with wood and they'll gain 10% chance to produce twice as much. So you want to put them into the woodcutters camp. Humans are good with farming, for example, and lizards, they want to work in the heart where it's warm. So you can see here there's this blue glow, which means that the person is happy. He gains extra resolve from working there. And they're also good when working with meat. Now, they all have different things that they want. For example, if you give jerky to humans, they'll be happier, but beavers don't care about jerky. Instead, they want biscuits. So you want to make sure that you get the right food for everybody. Now, I'm going to check what... okay, so this is the Queen's Envoy. At the start of each game, the Queen will give you some sort of a bonus. And some of these can be huge, and some of these can be completely useless. For example, in my test game, I got a bonus for my brewery, so I could make 50% more beer. But I couldn't get the building brewery because it was a starting city and I didn't have that blueprint, so it was useless for me. No one can weather the storm alone. The Queen offers you a cornerstone that will lay the foundation for your town's prosperity. Choose wisely, as you won't be able to change it. So what we can get here is +5 clay per minute, or detailed notes on different traders and their wares. Traders will now arrive +25% quicker, and packs of trading goods will be sold for more. We definitely want the clay per minute, and we want to turn the clay into bricks or other things, because now we know that we can get a lot of clay. Now we finished our crude workstation, so we're going to be using clay to get bricks. We also want to get planks, and I also want to get some fabric. Now next I'm going to look at the orders from the queen. So we're going to pick our very first order. So if we make mush soup, which we can make in brewery, brick oven, druid's hut, granary, or a cookhouse, we would get a bunch of new people. Or we can say I'm going to make a pack of crops, which will give me amber. Amber is huge because it allows you to reroll for new buildings. And it will give me +1 to pack of crop production. I'm definitely going to pick this because making pack of crops is very easy. You just need a makeshift post for that. Next order. If we build a small farm, we could get parts. Parts are important because they're kind of limiting how many new buildings you can pick. So because the different buildings require to have parts, and this is so that you can like make a million new buildings at once. Alternatively, if I build a trading post, which I need anyway, and if I have 10 amber, which I can get from the previous quests, I will also get parts, a grain, and this box of simple tools. Simple tools can be quite useful when you discover new glades. So we're actually going to pick this trading post thing. Because I'm not 100% sure if I'll get a farm. I want to get a farm, but I don't know if I'll get it. Ooh, and if I get a wood delivery, I'm going to get a group of beavers. This is amazing because I can very easily get wood. Now, let's check some new buildings. Ooh, so herb garden or a small farm. Now, we get a bonus for berries. Do we get a bonus? But this is not going to give me berries. I'm going to get the small farm so that I can make the complex food chains. Ooh, forager camps gives me vegetables, insect, and grain. Trapper's camp gives me meat, insect, and eggs. So we're going to grab that. And finally, we could get a lumber mill, which allows you to make flour and planks. Now, in order to build a lumber mill, I actually need planks. So some of you might ask, well, that's kind of weird, right? Like, how are you going to get planks if you need planks to make the lumber mill? Well, because typically in this game, there are multiple buildings that allow you to gain specific things. For example, I can also make planks in the crude workstation. So that's why you can easily build a lumber mill afterwards. Now, in order to get the small farm, we need a fertile soil, which we haven't found yet, but we will soon. Now, we finished my woodcutter's camp, so I'm actually going to mark all of these trees to cut them down, and this will find me a path to this glade where hopefully there'll be fertile soil. Now, these trees are great because they're not in range of this woodcutter's camp, but that's okay because you can move it around, which is quite important. Now, here we've got some flax field, which I can get through a scavenger's camp. And I also have roots which I can get through a stonecutter's camp. I'm going to build a... Trapper's camp doesn't give me anything. I'm going to build a scavenger's camp just to get that plant stuff. Because this might allow me to make like fabric and things like that later. We also have, so we have 20 charges. This means that we can go 20 times there to get that flax or plant fiber. And every time we get one plant fiber, we have a 40% chance to get clay and 20% chance to get an insect. Finally, I want to set up a trading post to be built because that will fulfill my goal over here. Now the trading post, you can't move it. So you want to be kind of careful. Actually, we're not going to build it. No, I'm going to build it here. But you can't move it around, so you want to be a little careful about this. Most of the other things you can easily move around, but not this. For this, we're just going to need 10 wood, so that's something that's very easy to get. Now, I'm going to place a lizard here in the scavenger's camp. I'm going to put 2 of them, and we're going to try to get this plant fiber from this. And again, we will be able to move it later. Now here we're getting some wood to get a wood delivered. Now notice here on the bottom that the queen's impatience is increasing, and that's because we haven't fulfilled the orders yet. Now there's one more order that we want to make, and that's this pack of crops, and we have no way to do that right now, because in order to do that I need to first build a makeshift post. So I'm going to do that right now. And we're going to send some people to work there. Now one thing to keep in mind, you always want to have at least 1 free worker, because they will be able to build buildings. If you don't have a free worker, you can't build buildings. Now we should be able to cut this tree very soon, which will allow me to get to open this glade. So here we found some fertile soil, but it's only 3 hexes, so it's kind of pointless. But we found a small encampment. Now if I have 8 of some food, for example 8 eggs, I can send a human or anybody here And we will bring food to the encampment. It's a destroyed camp in the wilderness, but there's still survivors in here. So we will feed them, and then we can either send them to the citadel, which will increase our reputation and give us 8 amber, or we can welcome the people in and get 1 beaver and 1 lizard. I'm actually going to take the people in, because I think getting more people is really good for me. Especially getting beavers, because then you can build a multiple woodcutters camp, which is very good. I do want to look at some of these other new buildings. We have a mine, which allows us to get coal and ore veins and dig up copper ore and coal. We have the rain collector for spark 2, and we are building the lumber mill, or if we would be building it if we had a free worker, which we don't, because our free human is bringing the food here to the other survivors. Don't worry, we'll take care of you. It's going to be fine. Just eat these eggs and come in. Thank you, thank you. I've been starving for so long. It's just so hard here. It's going to be okay. Now, I just want to check the bonuses. We get plus to berries, plus to spark too. I am considering building that rain collector, because we could sell the spark to. I'm gonna do it. We could sell the spark to at the trading post for some other resources that we might need, which I think would be quite useful. Right, so very soon, we're actually going to speed this up a little bit. So, yeah, so we are already sort of like giving out the food to the new people, and we'll get that 1 beaver and 1 lizard, and I'm going to need to build them a shelter so that they have a place to stay. I don't really have any places to build stuff, so we're going to build it here. Now, I would like to move my woodcutters camp a little bit closer, and we're going to focus on opening the path to this other glade. And maybe even like this. Can I move it here? I can. Because we need to open that path, because this is a very small glade. So there wasn't much sort of like empty area there that we could use. Now, we aren't getting the wood just yet because we're utilizing it, but we will be getting more of it soon, so you don't have to worry. Okay, so we got a trading post, and very soon a trader will come in. So, once we finish my makeshift station, which is over here, I'm going to send a human to work here, and I'm going to tell you, hey, make me a 5-pack of crops and use, I guess, mushrooms for it. So I'm going to try to get use some mushrooms to make the pack of crops, which you can then sell in the trading post. Should be very useful. Now the stonecutter's camp, or rain collector. Okay, we'll send a lizard here. So why not? This is going to give us the spark too. I don't know if we need to work on that much yet, to be honest. And the scavenger camp, we're getting that plant fiber. We don't really have a good source of food right now, so it's something that we definitely want to keep in mind. But I don't have a way to get food just yet. So the way to do that is to fulfill some of these other tasks, like the wood delivery, for example, or the pack of crops. And then we're going to be able to pick a new building. Now we have 1 beaver unemployed, so I'm just going to leave him the way it is. I'm not going to bother with building another stonecutter's camp, which otherwise would be quite useful, because they won't be able to utilize it. Now we're going to have a lot of clay that we can sell in the trading post. I do wonder if there's something good we could do to use the clay for. Maybe something for like leisure to make people happy. Bench needs plank. Yeah, but has no effect. Okay. Small farm. I don't want to build a farm that's on that tiny area. It's kind of useless. Trapper's camp would give me meat, but there's nowhere to get some meat, so that's kind of useless for now as well. And stone pot is made out of stone, makes people faster, but again, not particularly useful. Okay, so we move to the next year, so we can get a bunch of new people. I definitely want more beavers, so I'm gonna build another shelter, but more importantly, I want to build another woodcutter's camp so that we can start cutting up here in this area. And then we can get, we could get egg delivery and 10 eggs per minute, or all camps production is increased by 50%, but all building using fertile soil decreased. Now I'm gonna take the eggs per minute because I definitely need that food. Now let's go to the trading post and we want to sell all of our clay. Not all of it, we'll sell like 20 clay. In exchange, we can either get a perk, like for example pocket knives, which gains +4 plant fiber for every 10 vegetables produced, or a lumber mill blueprint, which we already have. +1 grain production, no, and reinforced needles +1 fabric production, also pretty useless. I'm going to try to get some. Let's just try to get more food. I think let's just get some vegetables. So we'll take like 20. 19 there. Get some extra food. Oh wait. Now we really need to get more food. That's kind of like the most important thing right now. We have 2 lizards that are kind of free to do stuff with. Okay, what is going on here? We have no... So the scavenger camp has used up its entire area. And now it has nowhere else to get good resources. So we're going to need to wait till we can find a better place. So in the meantime, let's add some beavers here. And we'll put 1 lizard into the woodcutter's camp. And we'll start moving towards that glade up there. And we should also be moving towards the glades here. Now we finished... actually, we didn't finish an order, but we can pick a new order. So let's do this. If we build a makeshift heart and a storage, these are not really things you need. Ancient tablets. Oof. I guess we're better off focusing on these 2 things. The ancient tablets, you can get them, but they're hard to get. They can be found in dangerous glades. I mean, okay, I'll take the tablets. We could do it. If I create 10 packs of crops, I can get 3 humans. If I get 15 packs of building materials, I'll get beavers. I'm gonna take the 15 packs of building materials because it's easier for me right now to get wood than it is to get... We're gonna set it to 15 here, and we'll set the plank production to 20. It's easier for me to get the building material packs because I have like essentially an unlimited source of wood. Food, on the other hand, is a lot more problematic. While I'm getting the eggs, I still need to work on it. I'm going to move this camp a bit sort of closer so that I remember that I need to move it somewhere as soon as I find a good resource. Now we are getting the eggs, which is good for food, but I would love to create like some better form of food. We do have the farm. Do we have enough for a bakery? We don't. Just gonna have to wait and see. Like, yeah. Okay, we finished the wood, so now we can deliver this, which is gonna give us 2 more beavers, which is great, because I can kick out the lizard and send another beaver here to work even better. And I need to build another shelter for my people. What is this? This can be taken in the stonecutter's camp. I don't know if I want to build that. Let's build a shelter this way. And we can get a clother or a carpenter. I'm gonna grab a clother because I can get coats, which is very good. So I'm gonna build this immediately. Actually, I don't have a place to build it. Okay, so we're gonna try to wait a little bit till I can place it in some good area. So, or I can actually move this here. And I can build the clother here. Do like this. Okay. I'm gonna need fabric and planks. I should be able to get both of those things pretty easily. And we're still working on the pack of crops. Yeah, the pack of crops is a bit problematic because I don't have... Yeah, I'm gonna take vegetable. I need to keep changing, like, what am I using to get the pack of crops? Because I don't have enough of that particular resource. More often. And for the ancient tablets, we'll have to go to the dangerous areas, so somewhere like there. But we need to have a good setup on our home first. Come on, give me something that I can use my scavenger's camp for. We've got the fabric for the clothing. I definitely want to make clothes. I'm going to make like 20, I think. I could also make luxury goods from offerings. I don't have any offering. Or I could make manuscripts. Can be used for education, but I don't have a common hall or a library. We use wood here and yeah. And I guess coal, which I can get from the mine to get the manuscript. But I don't have a common hall or the library, so... And library is something that you have to unlock in the upgrade, so I won't be able to do that here anyways. I'm almost done with this glade here. Okay, come on, finish it. We're okay on the food because of the eggs. Okay, pack of crops, we finished it. So let's deliver this. We're gonna get +1 to pack of crops production. And we can immediately deliver the trading post as well, which is gonna move us up here and make people very happy. Now, supply and carpenter is not great. I can't re-roll. Training gear, pack of luxury goods, or I guess I'll take the pack of trade goods. Ooh, forager's camp or herb garden. So herb garden requires fertile soils, and we already have the farm, so I'm gonna go for the forager's camp instead. Okay. Now the clothes, did I finish it yet? Not yet. I'm still waiting for my planks. Okay, so we wanna focus on these two glades. That's good. Now here, do I need a forager's camp? I need a herbalist camp. Okay, what is this? Moss broccoli patch. Okay. What can we find here? We have forager's camp. Okay, I'm gonna build a forager's camp. It seems a bit like a waste, but we'll get at least a little bit of broccoli, which I think is useful. And I'm gonna move this camp here. And we're going to unclick this. We're gonna set up like path there, there, and there. And all of this will give me plenty of wood and unlock many more glades. There's still nowhere to use my scavenger's camp? Now I don't remember, they would be working here, but they wouldn't be doing anything, so it's not effective. So I'm just gonna kick them out of there and instead send them, for example, here to work at the makeshift post. Where we can make 15 building materials, and we'll make... I guess we could use grain to make some of these crops. I have a lot of eggs, but I don't want to use my food for this. Now, where am I in the crew's workstation? Yeah, I'm making planks slowly. I'm gonna increase the limit to like 30 for planks. Yeah, and we're making a bunch of bricks as well. Yeah, clothes is gonna be super helpful. It's gonna make everybody happy, and we have this bonus that where everybody's slower because we don't have clothes. So I think getting clothes is just huge. Now I'm gonna put, I actually need a human. So I have to find somewhere where I have humans and fire them. Instead we're gonna put a lizard here. And here we're gonna place a human. And, actually I need a lot of humans. So you also go away, get a lizard. And here we're gonna have 2 humans working at the forager's camp getting me vegetables. Almost done towards this glade. I think in the next episode we might actually do the major threat. I think that'd be fun. But we gotta wait and see. We'll see what's over here first. Now we're doing very well. We're doing okay on food because we get the delivery of eggs. As for building materials, we don't have many planks, so it's something we might want to work on. We have some spark dew, which we could potentially sell also here at the trading post. We have some pack of crops and building materials that we could sell. Actually, we need to keep the building materials, so just pack of crops that we could sell. And we have the simple tools, which are going to be very important later. And we have 66 wood, which is quite good. But it's storm time. Right, and we discovered a new glade here. Now this is a small encampment, and we can bring some food, some eggs there again. And do we want the people, or do we want to... Actually, I think this time we're going to send it to the citadel. Send them to the citadel. And this is going to make it so that we'll get a lot of amber. Now for this, we need a scavenger's camp. That's great, because we wanted to utilize it. So I'm going to move you to here. And this has 60 treasures, so we're going to get a huge amount of fiber. Now I'm going to take... Actually, now that I've chosen this, now I'm actually starting to think that I should have taken the people. And I can finally build my very first farm. So we can actually take most of this area, which is amazing. And immediately when you build a farm, what you want to do is you want to start setting up these farm fields within the range of the farm. And I also want to build a path. It's going to go up there so that people will move faster. And I'm going to move this camp over here, and we're going to start moving in this direction. Now, however, I think this is a good time to end the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, write down the comment, then you can click on the right to watch the next episode. I'll see you there. Bye bye!